Welcome back to Noob School. This is where we interview sales pros that can help you get off to a great start in sales. All right, welcome back to Noob School. Today I've got Jack Sterling with me. Jack is my oldest son, and he is the first person we've had, I think, 55 or so podcasts so far on the Noob School. Jack is the first repeat customer.
Right.
How about that?
First.
Yeah. No nepotism, though.
None.
No. Just natural.
Earned it all the way.
You earned it. That's right. So just a quick bit today. We're just circling back with Jack to get his feedback on what it was like going from, let's say, no sales experience. He had almost 10 years in the service after he got out of college, to starting a business which required mostly sales, right? Mm-hmm. So tell us about what that was like, and then we're going to go into what you would have liked to have had as training.
Yeah. It was, one word, uncomfortable, right? This is coming from a SEAL team background. So coming out of that environment into a world where you're just getting a lot of rejection.
Yeah.
No, not interested, kind of a dismissive attitude. And that was new, right? There isn't really an analog in the military for sales. There is no sales function within the military, right? You're not selling anything.
It's orders, right?
You get orders, you go do the thing, and you kind of get done with it. Yeah. But there's no, I need to come present to you in a slick fashion so you can receive what I have to say. It's a complete alien concept. Yeah. And so in the personal, the feelings that I had about getting rejected it was new, right? You're getting constantly told no, cold prospecting, your hit rate's like 1%, 2%, 3% or something like that. So you make 100 phone calls in a week, and 3 people were not dismissive or ignored you. So that took a while for me to get over the mental hurdle of I suck at this. People don't like what I'm saying. That really kind of took me a little bit to adjust to and kind of not take it personally. Yeah. And then just generally being disoriented about business, sales, all of those things were net new kind of at the same time. So what made a big difference was having kind of a team of mentors, both at Clemson and outside in the network, you being kind of prime among them, Dan being among them, people that had been there before and could offer helpful advice and help me make fewer mistakes along the way. Yeah. Huge.
Yeah. So you had, you did. That's a good point. So Jack started a business reselling kind of telecom and security equipment or services from ScanSource. And so when you say I started a business, you think, gosh, I'm an entrepreneur. But really, you're kind of a salesperson, right?
And I understand that it doesn't matter what the business is. When you start something, if you're the founder, you have to be good at sales, right? Facebook, Zuckerberg, he had to sell that to some people at some point, right? He had to get people to buy in to get some momentum and get start gaining customers. And then you can start hiring people later down the road. But when it's just your kind of baby, you got to sell it. You got to do everything else too. But if you're not selling it, then who is?
Right. So I agree. But I didn't think about it. But your mentors, besides me, you had my brother Dan, who's the best mentor ever in the telecom space. That's all he's ever done. And then we had another consulting company we worked with, and those two ladies had been doing it for 20 years, right?
Yep.
And then the ScanSource representative who was assigned to us, he helped. So that's like at least 4 people.
The whole, not even just, the one guy from ScanSource, but the whole team at ScanSource, that's all they do. They exist to support businesses like ours with engineering and sales support and troubleshooting. And that they're really, they helped accelerate the timeline to getting to success.
So that's how you overcame the going to cold start in sales. So what would have been a better or easier way to do it?
Probably having a shorter leash, honestly. I had a lot of leash. You could just out there just freewheeling on my own. And I appreciated it, and I still do. But I think if I had a little bit more marching orders and a little bit less just free time to do whatever I wanted with, I think it would have been a little more success early on. Yeah. I was just out there kind of, I got the kit, I got the tools, just got to go try and build a house now, right? It was,
listen, I didn't do it the normal way either in my career, and you didn't do it the normal way. But I know what the normal way is. The better way, I think, is you start with Verizon,
right?
And then you work for Verizon for a little while, and you kind of learn the business, and then you get your MBA, and then maybe you work for AT&T, and then all of a sudden you're 30, and then Then you opened up your own business.
Maybe. And I was dead set on not working for somebody else when I got out of the Navy. I'd worked for the Department of Defense, this world's biggest bureaucracy, and I imagined that every company out there was going to have some flavor of that.
It's true.
So going to work for somebody else was really kind of distasteful. So maybe if you go the path you just described, something similar will happen. You go to Verizon, and you're like, I'm done with this corporate world. I want to go do something else, start my own thing. But I probably need an MBA to get there. So mentality was probably the same for what you're calling the normal path. But yeah, that's probably true. There is no such thing as a one-size-fits-all normal path for everybody, right? Everyone comes through it in a different way.
Yes, I agree. I think people ought to make every effort to have a strategy to make it as easy as possible to have a good arc in your field. I think they should. Having said that, most people don't.
Right.
You just kind of jump in there and you figure it out.
Yeah.
The downside of doing it the normal way is you might get stuck.
Right.
You might get at Verizon and start making a lot of money, and all of a sudden you're doing TPS reports the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You're in the break room, talking about the game this weekend.
And it's
Who knows
scary.
what's going to happen?
I mean, any form of entrepreneurship, whether it's sales or something else, it's scary, right? You're on your own. There's some certainty and some predictability working for either the military or for Verizon or whoever else that you're good, right? I mean, even now we've got some success, but one of our big customers doesn't pay their bill that month, we don't get paid either. So it's like there's a little bit of a trade-off for that freedom you get with entrepreneurship and versus working for someone else. But definitely having a blueprint for success is very helpful, not just making it up as you go.
Yeah. Well, whatever you did, I know it was hard to go from the Navy to having your own business and selling and all that stuff, but you've done it. You've done a really good job over the last couple of years, and your business is growing and doing well. And I appreciate you coming back on the Noob School and helping out the younger folks.
Absolutely. Look forward to number 3.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right.